More trade chatter for the New York Jets. This time, Alijah Vera-Tucker. Wait a second. I thought he was out for the season. Apparently, he could be traded ahead of the deadline. What in the world? Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Dewey Mama.
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below, so feel free to check it out. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I see we have Tony here, who's flying into London today for this weekend debacle. Well, Tony, make sure you send a lot of pictures and videos and whatnot. I love seeing members of the show going off to all these games. That's always a lot of fun. So, Tony, enjoy, pal. It's going to be win number 1. I can feel it. Yeah, baby. But real quick on the topic du jour of choice here, right? So right before the year, we lost Alijah Vera-Tucker for the season. Devastating. Sucks. AVT's been injured a lot in his career. Former first-round draft choice. We traded up to the 14th overall pick and traded for AVT. And we thought he was going to be this wonderful player. When he's been on the field healthy, he's been really good. The problem is he hasn't been able to stay on the field. With this season-ending injury that he suffered, and the news of this show does not change that, he will have missed across his 5 years in the league 42 games. That counts the games he's going to miss this season. 42 games across his 5 years in the league. 3 of his 5 seasons have ended in season-ending injuries. It's been unfortunate for Alijah Vera-Tucker. Yet, apparently, the body of Alijah Vera-Tucker, because he's set to be a free agent in a couple of months, is drawing interest around the league. Eric Williams, an NFL reporter for NFL on Fox, said, according to sources, that Alijah Vera-Tucker could be a player on the move. Quote, could command some interest around the league. Here was his longer form comment about AVT's future. Excuse me. Quote, with the Jets struggling and in full rebuilding mode, the 26-year-old Vera-Tucker is scheduled to make $15.3 million in total compensation in the final year of his rookie contract. However, Vera-Tucker's future with the team is cloudy after he suffered a season-ending torn triceps injury in September and has had trouble staying on the field during his time in New York. With New York more focused on the future, the Jets could seek to get draft compensation in the form of 2026 picks instead of waiting to move on from him at the end of the year and potentially receiving a 2027 compensatory pick once he moves on in free agency. So there's a lot going on here. And let me answer the most interesting of these questions. Wait a second. Injured players can be moved? Well, apparently so. And we don't have to go back very far for the latest example, as a matter of fact. And we have this written in the story as well. You guys may remember, now this isn't as big of a name as AVT, but Jalen Polk, okay, is a young receiver. This offseason, he suffered a shoulder injury that required surgery. And according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, knocked him out for the year. He was placed on injured reserve. He's out for the year. So Jalen Polk is just sort of sitting there. But he's out for the year, can't play this year. But a couple weeks after he's ruled out for the season, on August 21st, the New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots struck a deal for the injured Jalen Polk, who's out for the season. Here was the deal. It wasn't anything crazy. The Patriots traded Polk, who's out for the year, and a 2028 7th-round pick to the New Orleans Saints in exchange for a 2027 6th-round pick. So they moved up a round and up a year. It's basically all that happened there. But Polk's out for the year. But what the Saints do is they get his rights moving forward. Now, in this case, it's a little more interesting because AVT is in the last year of his deal. So really, what this trade would really be about is exclusive negotiating rights because he is set to be a free agent in March. If you were able to trade AVT to another team, they would be able to work with him and rehab with him and potentially re-sign him ahead of free agency, which, again, I imagine you wouldn't be making this move unless you do that anyway. There's a lot of layers to this. A lot of layers. 1 second here. Let me wet the beak here, for goodness sake here. All right. I get so emotional doing these shows. The question for all of us that we have to consider before even thinking about this trade is this. Do we, as Jet fans and the team, want to re-sign AVT? I know that sounds awful, but he's 26. He's missed 42 games, a lot of season-ending injuries. He's torn his left tricep, his right tricep, his Achilles. I mean, these are some weird-ass injuries, man. They're very weird. So my question to the universe as Jet fans is, do we want AVT back? And I would assume a lot of you do not. A lot of you probably don't want him back because if you sign him to a 1-year deal or multiple years of deal, you're like, man, he's just too injured. Okay, so let's say you don't want him back. First off, it takes two to tango, baby. Does AVT even want to come back? I don't know. I hope he does because I'm a Jets guy, but let's be honest. His Jets career is remembered by injuries and pain and losses. That's his Jets tenure so far. It sucked. And he's a West Coast guy. Maybe he's like, hey, man, I could get a 1-year deal for anybody I want. Who's not going to want a 26-year-old talented offensive lineman that can play every position outside of center? Maybe he could even play center. So I imagine AVT will garner interest in free agency from teams, so why not in trade? So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for AVT, and I'm sure he would pick a West Coast trip, go back home, rehabilitate himself, prove that he's as good as he has always been, and then he's off to the races. So I'm not sure if the Jets should want to bring AVT back, and I'm not sure AVT should want to come back, which leads us to this point. Can the Jets trade him? According to Eric Williams, he's going to garner interest, and as we discussed on yesterday's show, compensatory picks are not guaranteed. Compensatory picks are not guaranteed. We saw it with DJ Reed. Okay, he left the Jets, signed with a $48 million deal with the Detroit Lions. We were like, ooh, that 4th-round comp pick's going to be great. Psych! We signed Justin Fields. So that negated that deal. So we got nothing for DJ Reed. There's a chance we could get nothing for AVT. But if you trade him now, you get a guaranteed asset. How good is that asset? That's unclear. Well, what could AVT garner? I don't know. Maybe there's a mini bidding war for his services. But I don't know. A day 3 pick, maybe? A day 2 pick seems aggressive for a guy that's injured. But could it be a 5? I mean, we don't have a 5 because we gave it up to trade up for Tyler friggin' Barron. So maybe there could be a 5th rounder or something out there. That might make sense for the Jets to explore. And I just want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I hate doing trade shows back to back here in October. This sucks. I want to be talking playoffs. I want to be talking positioning. I want to be talking about the Broncos, who we've barely discussed. We'll get more into them later. Boy Green Meets Woody will have Phil Milani, our Denver Broncos our Denver Broncos insider. Phil worked for the Broncos for a long time before going indie, and now he does his own thing. So we'll get into Broncos, but I hate talking about trades. And here's the other reason why you may say maybe it's time to move on. Shout out to our boy Will Parkinson. We haven't had him on the show in a while. We'll have to bring Will back on. But Will Parkinson gave a big shout out on social media to Joe Tittman, who, by the way, was supposed to potentially be the center, and then AVT gets hurt, and the Jets have to reshuffle the deck, and Josh Myers is at center, Joe Tittman at right guard. Here's what Will Parkinson had to say about Joe Tittman on social media this week. Quote, Tittman doesn't get enough credit for how good he's been this year. I've said it for years. I think he's a better guard than center, and he's proven it this year. Think he's their best interior player and would love to see him and Armand Membu on the right side for the next 5+ years. Whether it's AVT, John Simpson, a draft pick, or whoever, they can take care of left guard. But Tittman should be anchored at right guard for the foreseeable future. Good player, and the film data shows it clear as day. He's been a good partner with Membu as well, able to play with better leverage and no issues with snapping. He's just playing ball and doing it at a really good level. All right. Well, if we filled the right guard spot, John Simpson is sort of up in the air, although Joe Tippmann, he's not a free agent in 2026. He's a free agent in 2027. So the Jets are going to have to work on the contract future of Tippmann. At center, we don't know. Josh Myers is on a one-year deal. Do they bring him back? Do they not bring him back? And then John Simpson is set to be a free agent. So the Jets have some big boy decisions to make on the offensive line. They sure do. But salute to Tippmann. We haven't really talked about it much, but salute to Tippmann. Let's see here. We got a super chat coming in from our boy, DNY for Life.
Wow.
DNY for Life, I appreciate the super chat, buddy. We'll put this towards your raffle total. And like I said, eventually I'll keep you guys posted on our raffle prizes for this month. I've been lost all over the place coming back from the Jets-Cowboys game. So we'll get back on it. But this $2 super chat from Devin, I'm in on keeping ABT for cheap, Tippmann to center. There's a case to be made for that, but here's just my thing. Right, if you could tell me, Paul, ABT is interested in signing a one-year prove-it deal this offseason, I'd be like, oh, great. That sounds phenomenal. Good risk for both sides. It's only a one-year deal for the Jets. For ABT, he gets to rebuild his value, and then we see what happens. But again, here's my fear, DNY for Life. Does ABT just want to sign a cheap one-year deal with the Jets? Because like I said, all he's known here is losing and injuries. He's a West Coast guy. He's from, he went to college at USC. If the Jets say, hey, man, here's a one-year cheap deal, come on back. And he looks around the league and every other of the 31 teams are saying, here's a one-year deal. He can pick where he wants to go. Who wouldn't want ABT on a one-year prove-it deal? He's talented. He's 26. When healthy, he's been awesome. Now, he hasn't always been healthy, so that may cause a team or two to say, not so sure, but it's a one-year deal. I don't think anyone gives him that multiple-year deal this offseason, unless this trade thing potentially happens, which I didn't really even have on the bingo card. If that happens, I suppose they could get creative and give him one of those deals with incentives built in. So if ABT plays to his level, he gets paid, and then the team has a little bit of protection. But no, I mean, hey, ABT on a cheap one-year deal is intriguing, and Timmons played really well at guard, which is great to hear. Josh Myers has been all right. He's been okay. For the value of the deal, he's been really good too. But it's a good thought, Devin. It's a good thought. Thank you for the super chat. You guys can keep those flowing. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that money sign. Super chats, memberships, all those are welcome here on the program. Grove Beat says, a Boy Green Coffee Club member. Appreciate you, Grove. We have too many players that are on IR that aren't worth keeping. Trade them all. Yeah. I mean, we have so many players that are injured right now, but ABT is an interesting one because he's in the last year of his deal. So are the Jets bringing him back? The Jets just have to have honest conversations about guys they're bringing back or not bringing back. Jared B asks, who's on the no trade list? Again, Garrett Wilson's on the no trade list. Sauce Gardner's on the no trade list. And all the fans, by the way, that were DMing me and mentioning me on social media saying, ooh, we got to trade Sauce. Guys. I know Sauce hasn't played up to snuff, but we're not trading. He just got paid, man. We're not going to light our books on fire. A trade makes no sense with how he just got paid and how Garrett just got paid. Neither of them being traded makes any sense from a financial perspective and a realistic perspective. Why would we trade these guys? No, hell no. And by the way, if you're going to trade Sauce, why would you trade him at his lowest value? That doesn't make any sense either. A guy's playing bad. Let's get rid of him. What? No, that doesn't make any sense at all. So absolutely not. So Garrett's on that list. Sauce is on that list. I put outside of ABT, I guess, because that's possible. But basically the entire starting offensive line, I wouldn't put on the list. Specifically Olu and Armand Membu, hell no. Tippmann obviously is playing well, so you wouldn't do him. And then, like, in general, any offensive lineman you trade is putting your own quarterback in jeopardy from an injury perspective with a lesser guy coming in. So all the offensive linemen on the list, it's very hard to trade offensive linemen. Who else? No one's trading for Justin Fields. And you wouldn't trade your starting quarterback in the middle of a season. That doesn't make any sense. Mason Taylor wouldn't be traded. We haven't mentioned him. I imagine, that's Jamie Sherwood just got paid, so he's not getting traded. And who would want to trade for him right now with how he's playing? So that's basically the list. I mean, there's Sauce, there's Jamian, there's the offensive line, there's Garrett. There's a few players on my no trade list, but hey, I mean, there's a lot of conversations that can be had on a lot of other players, though. Yes, he's always hurt, unfortunately. Yes, for those just joining us, like the video, hit subscribe here on YouTube. You guys can also read the full article in the YouTube description down below. Just posted moments ago. We got 200 people in the room, and 75 of them are on the YouTube. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. I see you guys out there. YouTube is the optimal way to enjoy the show, baby. Appreciate you. We only have 27 likes, but 75 people in the room. That math don't math, baby. So make sure you guys like the video. Appreciate you. Spread the gospel of Boy Green Daily. Let's get in front of others, baby. NC Green says, keep Tippett at guard. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was a little froggy about it a couple of months ago. I'm like, man, can we stop herky-jerkying people around? Let's keep him at center and Myers figure it out. But without Tippman's played at guard, and he doesn't have to worry about the snapping thing anymore because he's, playing guard. But, okay, works for me. Works for me, baby. That's copacetic with me. That works just fine. NC Green says centers generally cost you less in the draft over guards. Yeah, tackles are the premium, and then we get into interior players, and we can make some debates about that, NC Green. But that's not a bad way to assess it. Jake Klein. Hiring John Gruden is becoming an option. I'm willing to consider if he is the number one pick. Of course, we will win stupid games in December. Are you talking about Chucky?
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed, too.
Interesting. I mean, I love Chucky. John Gruden loves football. I love how he breaks down tape. I love his passion. But we got an 8C of the NYJ. So, no, I don't think so. Hey, I mean, if anyone's going to get swapperootied, it might be our defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, who seems to be on borrowed time. I'll be curious to see who they go to. Now, interestingly, right in Detroit Lions land, Dan Campbell, the name's escaping me now, of their offensive coordinator they had initially. But Anthony Lynn, it was our guy. So think about the Lions regime, right? They had Anthony Lynn as the offensive coordinator. He struggled in his first season with the Lions, and they played the entire year out, and then the Lions fired Anthony Lynn. And you want to know who they replaced him with? Ben Johnson. So, all right. Now, we have very high hopes for Tanner Engstrand. So, if we can find our Ben Johnson on defense, that'd be marvelous. So, it happened for Detroit. Maybe it could happen for us. So, I love Chucky, but I don't think so. I don't think so. But I love the creativity there, Jake. And hopefully we don't win stupid games in December. I want to win stupid games in October. Let's win some gosh darn games, baby. Yeah, starting in London. Let's kick the Denver Broncos' ass. Hop on Pop says this is why we should have waited to pay Sauce. No, I vehemently disagree. Sauce has not played well, obviously. But being an All-Pro through his first two seasons, as no other corner had done since the AFL merger, that wasn't a fluke. That wasn't an accident. Sauce is really talented. He's in his own head, but I have no regrets about paying Sauce Gardner. Maybe $30.1 million, but not paying Sauce Gardner in general. No, the Jets will be very happy with that. They'll be very happy with that. They may not be happy now, but I'm cool. I'm cool with Sauce. He's just in his own head right now. He's super talented. He's going to figure it out. Alon says Michael Carter II will be a cap casualty. Very likely. Again, depending on the contractual place you trust of over the cap or spot track, his dead cap hit after the season, it ranges between $5 and $8 million, but manageable. And then you find your new nickel corner, which maybe is Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Like I said, I didn't get a great look at him in the Cowboys game. Dak Prescott carved us up like a turkey, so I mentioned he didn't play well, but I don't know that. So I'll get a better look at it for the London game when we bring back our watch party and live play-by-play. But MC2 is likely a cap casualty. Yes. Johnny Boy. Let's throw this one up. Another member of the Boy Green Cafe Club. Thank you very much. Boy Green, did you see the article about some players have that here we go again mentality? Thoughts on that? It's been happening for a while. Remember last year when Adams snapped on the team? You had Devontae Adams shortly after being traded there. I did. I actually have that article up. It's on my leftmost tab. It's from ESPN. Rich Samini said that several players admitted to having that here we go again mentality. Thoughts on that? Obviously, that's disappointing. But it's not surprising. I mean, look at the results. When the Jets have had a turnover, right? The Braylon Allen fumble, the Breece Hall fumble. It's a, here we go. And it's, up the wind's out of the sails up. We always knew something would go wrong. There's a lot of Jet fans in my life that I know they wait for the other shoe to drop. Like, no matter what good is happening with the Jets, they're like, it's going to go wrong. I feel it. And then it does. They're like, see, there we go. So it's disappointing to hear, but not surprising. I mean, look at this season so far. Obviously, players have had that mentality. At the first sign of adversity, they folded, and that is disappointing to see. But this is also why I said AG's got to get his own guys in here. Of like, if that is happening consistently with players, then you got to get better players in. You got to get players with a better mentality. Now, AG is trying to rally this group, and we need to see if they're going to listen. Again, I think this London game is a unique opportunity where it's college-like atmosphere. And what do I mean by that? I said it yesterday. It's like when you're in New Jersey playing with the Jets, everyone's got their multi-million-dollar homes, and they're all living their own lives. They're practicing together, and then they just go on to live their own lives. In London, everyone is bunkered in the same hotel. They're doing group activities together and things of that nature. So hopefully this could be like a bonding experience, an us against the world experience, where they're like, you know what, guys, everyone is doubting us, and for obvious reasons, because we stink. Let's prove that we've got more in the tank than people realize, and boom, we could sort of rally around that. And Aaron Glenn sort of talked about that on his presser. I believe that one was yesterday, about he sort of likes this international experience from that perspective, where they're all sort of bunkered together in the line. So hopefully that has that sort of effect. But yeah, obviously it was disappointing to read. Very disappointing to read. Also in that same piece, though, the Jets are firmly behind whatever the wording was from Rich Amini. They're firmly behind Aaron Glenn. Like that they're not wavering at all about potentially doing anything crazy. And that was encouraging to see as well, because we don't want to see anything like that. Shout out to Ryan McCarthy. Good morning, sir. Good morning to the New York Jet fans only, and especially the Coffee Club, baby. Hey now. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you, pal. Appreciate you. Let's see. Alan said, Erlon, excuse me, says Jets love meaningless wins in December. I'll take wins at all, baby. Let's get some wins. Oh, that's a great choice. Rico the Pup. I'm watching how the Panther season goes, because if Dave Canales gets the X, I would immediately talk to Elijah Evero about the DC job. Oh, man, I think he's a great defensive mind, man. I liked him when he was in Denver. I like him in Carolina. Man, he would be a very intriguing guy. I'd be intrigued. I guess maybe we should start doing homework on available defensive coordinator options that either have some connection to AG or not, because Steve Wilks has sort of just been all around the block. It'll be interesting to see where he pivots if they move on from Wilks. So I'll have to start looking through some names, but I love Elijah Evero. That's a good one. Hop on Pop says there will be December wins that will fool us just like last year, and just like our end of game scoring frenzies fool us into Fields not being the problem. Again, I don't know if Justin Fields is the solution, but I don't think he's the problem. And I think there is layered nuance to that we can have. I don't think, regardless, to be honest, where we are right now, I don't think there's anything Justin Fields can do that would prevent the Jets from drafting a quarterback in the first round, outside of just winning a million games, and then just take them out of position to do so, and then they could trade up, of course. Justin Fields is an intriguing talent that they should run the ball with him some more design runs. We haven't seen those since the season opener. His passing, he hasn't made mistakes in terms of interceptions, but I don't think he's going to do something like the game you're referencing is Aaron Rodgers throwing 4 touchdown passes in the regular season finale, because Aaron got, even that, that didn't give the false sense of anything. He got cut months later. So even him throwing 4 touchdown passes didn't go, oh, wow, now he stayed. So I'm not sure if that example holds water. But Justin Fields probably going to be here next year because of his contract structure. He has $10 million in guaranteed money next year. So he's probably going to be the bridge. So, but I don't think he's going to do something where like, you know what? We don't need a quarterback after all. I don't think that's going to happen. Alonso Canales is not getting canned, although he was on a recent NFL insider list of coaches that are on the hot seat. He was in the top 5, I believe, is what I saw, Alonso. Actually, perhaps so. Some varying opinions on Sauce in the chat, I see. Yep. Hop on Pop says, after watching the film of Pickens burning him, I'm not sure how you can be happy with the deal. One corner or a corner being burned on one play when he had him on lock the rest of the game is not going to be me overreacting about the Sauce deal. Did he get beat on that play and needed safety help or had safety help? I don't know. The Jets know that answer more than me, regardless of what we see on tape. He expected safety help. He didn't get it. But I'm not going to, again, overreact. One play he got beat on, for it. It was a big touchdown, unfortunately. Good for my fantasy team, bad for me as a Jets fan. But no, I'm not going to overreact to it and say, geez, one play is this. No, I'm not going to do that. Sauce has not been a superstar this season. He got bullied by Mike Evans in week 3. Week 2, Buffalo didn't really pass the ball much, so it's hard to say anything about that game. Week 4 against Miami, Darren Waller got the best of him in the red zone. And then week 5, we saw the Cowboys game live of Pickens getting him one steep. But nah, I'm not there. I'm not there. Let's see. Okay, there's some arguing going on in the chat, which is great. We'll open up the phone lines here in just a minute, and we can bring that arguing on air. Why not? But yeah, it would be interesting on this AVT situation. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any more of your super chats or comments there in the chat. Okay, good. So let's do this, baby. Let's bring this to the next level. We're going to take a quick HEP timeout, and this HEP timeout, again, we're going to keep going to it because I love it. This video you guys are about to see, if you're new to the channel, came from our tailgate extravaganza for Jets Cowboys. While the game did not go the way any of us would have wanted, we had a hell of a time at the tailgate, and I've enjoyed all the pictures and videos. So guys, keep tagging me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter with all your pictures and videos from the event. I love seeing them, so keep them coming. That's awesome. But our HEP timeout, we'll play a quick video before we open up the phone lines here on YouTube. It'll be the pinned comment on YouTube after this video reaches its conclusions. But this video is from our tailgate from over the weekend. So quick shout out to the 300 people in the room. Again, guys, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Boy Green Daily and your phone calls continues after this.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone,
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Let's go!
Man, that's one of the cool parts of the tailgate. And Peter, he filmed the entire thing for us. That video was from Lou B. Shout out to Lou B, Super Jets fan. But we have a whole video little package coming out on the event. So we'll let you guys know when that's up on YouTube and that's finished up. That'll be a cool thing to remember forever. And yes, as NC Green says, check out the shirt. That was a Boy Green Meets Woody shirt. We will have a few shirts left over, so those will have to be included in some of our giveaways coming up, our monthly giveaways. So if you guys did not make the event, you may get an opportunity to win one of those shirts, those exclusive shirts from our first ever annual tailgate, which will be great. So more on that coming up here in the near future. All right, let's go to the phone lines, baby. He's been on here very consistently, giving some interesting takes that have led to some fascinating conversations here on the program. Let's go to the Kyle Clifton, baby. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Boy Green?
Hey, what's poppin'?
I think that this Fox report is total nonsense.
Oh, okay.
The exclusive rights, like, what kind of value does that have for a guy that's always hurt, who has the ability to go wherever he wants anyway? Like, when you compare him to Jalen Polk, I believe Jalen Polk had years left on his deal, right?
That
Like,
is correct. That is a significant difference. That's important to note. Yes.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think that there's any validity to the idea of AVT, and I mean, you don't see it very much anyway with injured players going.
Very rare.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think we might be overestimating the amount of players that we actually can move. Certainly Brees would be in the conversation.
Sure.
Some of these veteran wide receivers for late round guys, I'm looking at you, Lazard and Josh Reynolds. They might have value for teams looking for depth.
Sure.
Other than that, who are you moving? Who do you think is going to bring value to, unless you get like wowed in a deal for Quinnen, right?
Right, 100%. Only if I got wowed. I wouldn't move him just to move him. It would have to be a very unique scenario, an aggressive-ass team that's feeling the pressure or something. It's like, oh, yeah, who gives a bleep about picks? We're in the middle of the season right now. There could
Right,
be
and we think
something like
and
that.
we think Quinnen will put us over the top and
100%.
definitely gain us a playoff berth, and we can make a deep run.
Yes.
But the compensation for us has to be worthwhile.
Yes.
They've moved the trading deadline back.
Yes, a week. Yep, it's on November 4th this year.
So, if in a couple of weeks, when we haven't made any progress, but Field has still shown that he is capable,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's necessarily off the table either.
Interesting, really? Oh, okay.
Well, if you think about it, like, you might be able to get a 5th round pick for him, right? Fourth or fifth, maybe, depending on your quarterback situation. And we're not doing anything with him. It takes the money off our books for next year.
Sure.
And you have basically you just roll with Tyrod and Cook for the rest of the year and see what you have in Cook as a backup. Like, we're gonna lose. It looks like we're gonna lose anyway. So.
I would say the interesting.
I don't want to be a
thing-
defeatist, but I mean,
no.
we are
hear you.
where we are.
I would say the interesting thing of what you said that I've given no thought whatsoever, but it's interesting, is like you mentioned, like a Josh Reynolds or Alan Lazard, like someone just looking for depth on the back end of the receiver room, and it would sort of serve two purposes. Sure, you get whatever compensation could possibly come from that in the late rounds, but also that would open up doors for the Quentin Skinners, Brandon Smiths, and all these guys evaluation mode, if that's where the Jets are at that point, which it seems like they're heading in that direction. It's an interesting byproduct of any deals of that nature.
Some would say it's the real value in moving those guys. I appreciate your time, Boy Green.
Okay, thank you, Kyle Clifton. Yeah, man, moving Justin Fields, that would have to be such a very unique scenario where the Jets just sort of gave up on the season, because they signed Justin Fields to have that, like they'd have a guy, because Tyrod Taylor's a free agent after this year. Brady Cook obviously has never played an NFL snap. And Justin Fields being the bridge for next year, I think, is valuable to the Jets. But it's an interesting thought. I love conversation. One that name wasn't mentioned, Quincy, obviously, is another possibility coming off IR. He should be off IR 2 weeks before the deadline. So if the Jets were to make any moves there, would be in the conversation. I'm not sure, like I said, on Fields, we don't know the situation, I guess. There's a lot of weeks before happening, but that one would surprise me. If that would happen. But hey, again, when you're 0-5, a lot of different conversations around the table you didn't think were. So that's good to discuss. Shout out to all our Boy Green Coffee Club members in the chat. For those who are wondering what the hell is the Boy Green Coffee Club, this is our YouTube community, baby. You can join the Boy Green Coffee Club always in the YouTube description down below. It only costs $2.99 a month. There's all kinds of perks, loyalty, badges, emojis, and access to our Discord channel for our next meet and greet, our next meetup, which will be coming up in a couple of months, which is crazy to think about. So it'll be happening all over again. So make sure you guys have the latest intel, and you guys can do that by joining the Boy Green Coffee Club here on the YouTube. Plus, you get raffle tickets to win free stuff, so it's a great deal. Let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Indy here on the show. Indy, look, there he is. He's repping the shirt right there, baby.
Look at that. Put that on just for the show.
Nice.
Hey, when I hear a report that starts off with an anonymous whatever,
yeah,
I put no weight to it at all. I mean, if you have a general, I don't know, was it a general manager that it was supposedly an anonymous general manager that said this?
So the one from yesterday was an anonymous NFL executive.
Okay, anonymous, yeah.
And then let me see. This one was just league sources, so I guess those are anonymous in nature. So yeah,
right. These are guys that, and the source said, "Well, this is what I think they might do." This is not anything that the Jets have talked about. This is an information that's leaked by the Jets.
Right,
this is a guy that's on a different team. That's probably somebody that's out that was on a Browns team or a Jaguars team that did it. That said, well, screw it, we were bad, so we did it. So I'm guessing this is probably what the Jets will do. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and that's when I say, own up to it. If you're an executive of the Chiefs and say, well, we're good friends with Woody Johnson, and we kind of believe, that the talk is that this is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, at least put some, put your name on it. If you're just going to stay anonymous, it's just a guy, no different than anybody else in this chat that we've sat here and talked about the last 2 weeks that sit here and said, if Allen were to put a new name under, and we're going to call him, Fredrickson, and all of a sudden, or we're just going to change his name to Anonymous instead of Alon.
No,
maybe that's what Alon, and all of a sudden Alon says, well, we're going to, this is what the Jets need to do. Well, it means just as much. Ridiculous.
That was the great thing from the 80s when Mel Kiper and that Colts GM, his name escapes me, he just passed away too, so God rest his soul. But he says, who's this Mel Kiper telling us who to draft? He knows no more than my postman who delivers my mail. That's hilarious.
There's a legitimate question. How the hell does Mel Kiper still have a job?
Salute to the Godfather. Love Mel.
Yeah, but he's terrible. But anyway, no, it's just a matter of, I mean, these guys are just, I don't think we're trading anybody.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, we're not trading Brees. I think you might have traded Brees had Braylon Allen still been healthy, but you're not trading Brees now. You're not getting the value out of him, and so at best you might get a fourth. At best, maybe you might end up trading maybe a pick swap for a fourth, and we have to give a sixth and Brees something. You're not going to get much out of him. Your best player would probably be Quinnen. Now, what happens? Right now, as watching these games, you're seeing a lot of just miscommunications. I mean, these guys. These guys are just not communicating right. And that's the problem. But once these guys get it, okay, then you start trading all these players, and then the communication comes in, and then everybody's going to complain, oh, we don't have any talent. Well, which is it? We got a coaching staff that's working hard. The players are trying to understand it. It's still one of the very young. It's one of the youngest teams, I think. I don't know, 4th or 5th youngest team in the NFL.
Yep.
All new coaching. There's going to be some struggles, but you get rid of the talent, and now you're just adding. All you did was just add more struggles. You're not fixing the team, because adding a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick fixes what? I mean, are we going to draft another Michael Clemens?
We can only hope.
I mean, right. I mean, he's going into the Ring of Honor. That Right, exactly. So unless you're getting a bunch of firsts or seconds, which we're not getting, then what are we adding? We're adding a couple of sixth, fifth, and third day picks. Do you fix? You're not turning around a team with third day picks. You're just not going to.
Right.
And so what's the point? And if Brees walks, he walks. But what you're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to gain if you're not going to gain much for him. And again, with Allen out, Brees isn't going to go anywhere. Sauce isn't going anywhere. You're not going to trade Quinnen. You're not going to. I don't think even when Quincy comes back, you're not going to trade. When these kids start to get it and they start to understand this new concept of switching from man to zone, and they can get their communications down, and it's new. If you've ever coached,
right,
and if you've ever coached kids at any level, whether it's, I don't care if it's little league or if you're college, these are still young kids. Coaching kids, yes, they're getting paid millions, and these are professionals, but it doesn't mean they're perfect. They're still very young, and sometimes it's just going to take some time for these guys to understand what the coaches are talking about.
And this is, I heard this comment. Stephen Fox said we should keep Brees for a rookie quarterback next season. Again, the Jets had the franchise tag in their back pocket. They have plenty of money available. If they want to surround their young quarterback, if a rookie is the direction they go, keeping Brees instead of getting one of these random day 3 picks. He's 7th in the league in rushing. There's a case to be made the opposite way of not just moving him for anything, of like keeping him instead.
Right. You've got Garrett, you've got Sauce that are locked up for 4 years, I think, or something like that.
Yep.
And if Brees decides he wants to stay, I don't think there's been any. I hear everybody says, "Oh, Brees wants out." Okay, prove it. Show me where he says I want out. Because when players that want out, even Scary Terry there in Washington at the beginning of the season said he wanted out. Well, until he got some money, at least you knew he wanted out. Never heard anything like that come out of Brees's mouth. He's not said, "I'm done with this team."
I've only heard people like prognosticate, like they said, look at Brees at the podium. He's sort of giving this vibe of this or this. That sounds super like superficial. I don't.
Exactly. And you're not going to you can't expect him to get up there and be the team's 0-5. Yes, they're all disappointed in it. But his comments aren't saying I want out. He's just disappointed in losing. And people, I think Allen said something about Garrett's going to want out because he's tired of losing. Well, he got his money, and at the end of the day, these guys will play for Calvin Johnson and played for Detroit and never won anything, but he got his money, and these players will play for money before at the end of the day, it's just a business. But I don't know if they would actually re-sign Brees, but they might offer it. They might offer him a couple years. If they give him an average middle of the road contract, maybe he wants to stay. I don't think he would want to be traded to a team like Cleveland or someplace like that to go to some hole, which is to be even worse than the Jets. Sure. So he may still be here for the next couple of years. But trading these players right now, when everybody's trying to figure it out, and then when they do figure it out, the complaint is just going to be, well, now we don't have a defensive line at all. The biggest problem was our defensive line. We didn't draft one. Okay, well, why are you going to get rid of one of the core pieces that we still have? Quinnen's not talking about, he's not posting on social media of all these Bible quotes and all this stuff. He's not pulling Jamal Adams bullshit.
Yeah, no Elijah Moore action so far.
Right. You're not seeing that disgruntled side of these players. They're just frustrated. They're frustrated from whether it's learning the new system. Sauce is frustrated with, Tony Adams not picking up when he's supposed to be dropping players off, and Adams is supposed to pick them up, and he looks over and Adams is supposed to be there, and he's moving forward instead of backwards. And you can see the frustration of these players saying, and so that, and again, without CJ on that defense, with some leadership, somebody has to step up. And until the coaches develop that leader, which we don't know who it is yet, but until they develop that leader and somebody decides to take on, I'm waiting for a team only or a players only meeting.
Yeah, sure. Right.
The problem is who's calling it?
It's a good question.
Who would call it? I think if AVT was healthy and was playing well, he would probably be the one that I would look at to say he would call it. But he's
probably
not
the
there.
name I think of is, and we'll see. He should be coming back this week. Thank God, blessed be he. Is Jermaine Johnson? He would be the kind of guy that I think would rally the troops. We'll see. I think him being healthy is the key piece. Yeah,
100%. BG. Those are the two guys that have potential leadership. That we would consider are the highest as far as our leadership abilities anyway. Are not on the field. AVT and JJ, the two guys on both sides of those ball, are not there. So I think the team's going to turn it around once this stuff starts clicking. You eliminate a turnover, you eliminate a few of the penalties. We go from 13 penalties to 9 penalties. Well, those 4 penalties and 1 less turnover are winning us games.
Yeah, I hope so.
So I don't think we could be probably 0-8, and I still don't think we're going into a fire sale.
Well, fair enough, Indy. I appreciate the call, man. And there's some people disagreeing with you in the chat, like Kyle Clefton. I've seen that in there, but hey, I love that we have different opinions, different takes, different insights on everything that's cooking. So appreciate it. Let's go back to the phone lines. NY Jets FL is up next. What's up, Ted?
Paul, good morning. Indy had some really good points until the last one about the 0-8 comment that I can't. I say if we get blown out, and I don't think we will next in London.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to start piecing off players, and the first one on my list would be Quinnen. And he's 28. It's going to take a while to build. 27? Okay, he's still fairly young. I would say, a team like your dad's team, right? Cowboys. They need to win sooner or later. They need to be bold. And if you want Brees and Quinnen for their 2 number 1s for Parsons that they got from Michael Parsons, because they're essentially number 2s. They're going to be really late first rounders.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's like a 1 and a 3 practically in real terms, right? I would do that in a heartbeat.
And Cowboys already showed that they wanted Quinnen in the past, so like there's there. Yeah.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's a business, and I know Indies makes valid points about players meshing and building a team, but the timing isn't right. And Kyle's point about Fields being traded, I mean, we don't have a real quarterback. We have a 36-year-old backup, and we have obviously a limited starter, and we really can't see what we have truly. Some of these players, I'm glad Mason Taylor's flashing, but really with a better quarterback, Garrett would be a 1,500-yard receiver easily.
Yes.
So you could go into next year with 3 number 1s, and then maybe AVT you'd resign, and your line would be still be solid. And go ahead, Paul. I'll let you respond.
No, yeah, I would say again. I know Indy doesn't want to trade anybody, and I love that we're having these conversations. I'm glad not everyone's like, let's sell everything off the team, rip off the copper, like, let's go. And like, no, I'm glad that we're all sort of having a debate, for lack of a better word, that some people over here, some people over here. Again, I think the Jets' most valuable commodity that they could actually trade, and the contract and everything works out, is Quinnen. Now, but it's a debate. Like, some people are like, 27, he could just be your flag bearer forever, and that's very important. Others will say, man, get it while the getting's good. He is as valuable as he is ever going to be as a former All-Pro, and you could pour accelerant all over whatever this AG Diramuji rebuild looks like, and you could get a lot of heavy assets that can change the game. Like when Jamal Adams was traded, we all say whatever we will about Jamal. That led to AVT, who had good shining moments here, and definitely Garrett Wilson. Obviously, without that trade, we never get Garrett Wilson, and boy, I can't imagine this receiving core without Garrett Wilson. Good Lord have mercy. So, yeah, I think it leads to some difficult conversations. And again, there's a good debate to be had about whether you need, because my thing is this: the Jets suck on defense right now. So they're sucking with Quinnen. They would suck without Quinnen right now. And Quinnen's playing really well, but like the rest of the unit just hasn't picked it up. Now, hopefully week 6 in London, all of a sudden the defense picks up. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Here are these pieces that take another level, and we can take a temperature check. So, but I need a response. I'm a doctor. I'm in the room and I'm hearing beep. I just need signs of life. Are we going to get it in London? That's something I am looking for AG and quite frankly for the players.
Agreed. And that's one thing that Belichick was good at, was knowing when to trade players. He traded somebody to Arizona. I forgot who it was. The guy that went ballistic, I think.
Oh, Chandler Jones. Yeah, my Syracuse product guy. Yeah, Chandler.
Sorry. I didn't know he went there. Sorry. That wasn't the only insane person they had on the Patriots. They seem to know the character flaws in some of these guys. But they knew when to trade players, and it's a business at the end of the day. And that number 1 pick, that say we have a top 3 pick, you can actually perhaps trade to 10, and you'd have a plethora of picks to really fill out your team. We need a quarterback too. We need a wide receiver too. Look at Mecca Buka. I mean, I love that guy coming out. Look what he's doing.
So bad. Oh God.
He's another number 1. He's going to take over for Evans when Evans retired. But you need 2 number 1s. You need 2 number 1s. We need a cornerback too. What else do we need? Defensive tackle,
linebackers, defensive ends. I mean, good Lord.
And of course, a rookie quarterback. So
yeah,
I'd say if we're 0-6, Paul, the conversations have to be very serious about really starting to piece this out.
100%. Ted, appreciate the call, brother. Thank you so much. And just because we brought him up, I just want to say this is a local story. But my thoughts and love are sent out to the Jones family. Arthur Jones passed away at 39. That is far too soon. And a family man, his brothers, you guys should know, his brother John, they grew up around here in Endicott, New York. John Jones, a longtime MMA champion, perhaps the greatest MMA fighter of all time. His brother Chandler, Super Bowl champion as well, and killed it in the NFL. And then Arthur, also another former Super Bowl champion. Those guys, Syracuse guys. And I just an incredibly sad story that just came out within the last week. Arthur Jones passing away at 39, which again is still a hard thing to wrap around in this community. We also just lost Syracuse legend Lawrence Moten at 53. So the Syracuse community here locally is reeling with some of these losses, which are devastating. So my love is sent out to the wonderful Jones family. And I'm so sorry you guys are going through this. So, but that was just sort of random circumstance. We were able to bring that up because Ted was bringing up Chandler and him getting traded from New England, but absolutely sad story. And Dave Brigason, he has family in Endicott, New York. Yeah, that's where they were born and raised, over there in Endicott, New York. So, again, we're thinking about the Jones family. We have 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Maybe no proper way to transition from that, but let's keep rolling on the phone calls. We've got our legend, Hep, here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, fellas. As far as fire sale, I'm not really. There's only a couple players that really. Garrett would be one I'd want to keep,
sure. Yeah.
And probably Sauce, even if he's not your number 1. His contract is gonna look good a couple years down the road, I think.
Agreed.
And but everyone else, I'm not really, at this point. But what I'm really concerned about is our defense. defensive coordinator, his play calling is antiquated now. He's years behind. The game has moved on. They've read him. They read him like a book now. Aaron Glenn picked him.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn also picked Cisco. Aaron Glenn picked. Now, do we want Aaron Glenn picking our using our number one pick coming in? What that's what I'm worried about. I mean, he did pick Membu and Mason Taylor. They were good acquisitions, but that was about it. Really, those are the only guys that are really shining right now, aren't they?
That's true. Yeah, as I'm sorting through the draft in my head, yeah, everyone else has been MIA or like non-existent to discuss, right? Like I hear Francisco Mauigoa as being okay on special teams. Woo! So no, but it is fair. I've seen a few Jet fans make this point, like, oh boy, are we gonna let's say we get the number one overall pick as we currently would have it right now. Is this the regime that we're going to trust to make that franchise-altering decision that's going to set the tone for at least, if it goes horribly, at least 5 years in a bad way? And if it goes great, 10-plus years, like if you're quarterback right or whatever you do. So it's a thought. But again, I've said it. When I meet people, we all start off at 0. And AG has done some damage to our relationship, but still not enough where I wouldn't trust him to allow him to pick his guy. But know that his career and destiny and everything will be foretold by that decision. So whoever he picks, they're going to be attached at the hip, and whether it goes good or bad, that will be how his legacy is defined, whether fair or unfair. That's just how it works. That's how it was for Joe Douglas and Zach Wilson, and how it will be for Aaron Glenn and whoever he inevitably probably chooses here, because it seems destined to be a quarterback outside of something crazy. So no, I'm going to ride with him and allow, not that I have a choice, I guess. It's up to us to trust it or not trust it ourselves. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt right now. But hopefully, this Steve Wilkes decision has looked awful. And there's a lot of people that criticized it when he was hired. So, some of those people are getting their last laughs right now.
What if John Harbaugh shakes free? Do you make a play for him or you stick with AG?
Now you're just so tickled by a very unique opportunity. I would say, it's the little angel and devil on the shoulder. They're like, oh, Harbaugh, look at that guy, Super Bowl champion. What are you doing? The angel's like, come on, Aaron Glenn, he's barely had a chance. Don't give up on him yet. So I just those are the little voices. I think upon much, thought and everything, this is going to sound crazy. I'm sticking with AG. I'm not just going to take the cheese that's right there. But I mean, that would be very tempting cheese to take. I mean, if the Ravens are dumb, and I hate when really good organization fans, like, they complain, like Ravens fans, like, can you believe this? We're 1-5. And Jeffrey's like, yeah, we can believe it. It happens like every year. What are you talking about? So, like, these elitist fans that haven't been swimming in these pools for a while, they just have one taste. They're like, disgusting. Yeah. I'm sorry for the inconvenient couple of months you've had. We've had this for 15 years, man. So so it would be tempting. Of course, Chris Harbaugh is phenomenal, but still, I think no matter what, no matter who it is, even though you're giving me tempting names now, whoever it is, I think I'm going to ride with AG and I'm going to give him more time.
Okay, Paul. Thanks, bud.
Appreciate you, Hap, and man, intriguing conversation. It is the temptress. You want a piece of this forbidden fruit? I hear it tastes pretty good. I don't know. I probably shouldn't. You sure you don't want to take a bite? I'm not so sure. But there it is. Like I said, I know this has been a point of consternation among the fan base, but what would have to happen for AG to be fired 1 year into a 5-year fully guaranteed deal? I mean, that would have to be pretty seismic, and we are in seismic territory, I guess, at 0-5, but I just don't see it. But, let's see what the season is, and we'll make conversations when we get to that point. We have 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Full article in the YouTube description down below. If you guys are joining late saying, what the AVT, who, what now? All the details are in the article down below, and you guys can catch up, and feel free to ask any questions in the comment section. Let's go back to the phone lines, baby. He's back. Neil Sr. What's up, Neil?
How you doing, Paul? Paul, you got to, Paul, I love you.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
What do you mean?
If you think for 1 second,
based
on what we've seen this first 5 games,
the
fact that we might be going, and you're saying to me, if we win 2 games this year, and by miracle of the parting skies that John Harbaugh becomes available, you would still want to stick with Aaron. Come on, Paul.
That is
Are
correct.
you out of here, Gord? Let me
Possibly.
explain to you. The only way to turn this organization around,
all right,
and turn it into a winner,
sure,
because it's not going to happen. Look, if we start selling pieces off at this point, or trading pieces off, rather,
yeah,
we're talking about a 2-year, maybe more, before the team gets back to the roster we have right now. Okay, because last year our roster, according to ESPN, was top 5. The problem is our roster is not the problem.
Okay,
right now the coaching is the problem.
I see.
I mean, you know, when your team doesn't tackle, when it makes mistakes, when it doesn't do this and it doesn't do that, you could say the players are a big part of the problem. But Quinnen Williams, Sherwood, Sauce, all these guys that we have on our team, that a lot of them we gave contracts to, they don't just instantly suck after being really good for the last 2 or 3 years.
It is bizarre.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's they're not playing well because they're either not motivated to play well because they're sick of the rebuild and the bullshit and what's happening with the Jets after the release of Salah last year, or they're trying to learn a new system and it's taking them a lot of time to do it, and the scheme is not beneficial to what their skill sets are. And we're seeing a lot of that happen, and Sherwood's a good example of that. You know, he's getting pushed all around the field, but why was he so good with Salah? Why were some of these guys really good with Salah and they're not good without Salah? And it's got kind of really goes into the scheme more than anything else. It's not the players themselves. So from that perspective, you know, you can't really say, first of all, trading guys at this point for draft picks, the draft is irrelevant. I know everybody on here thinks they're a draft expert and who's this and we'll pick that guy and this and that. Aside from the first round, okay, when it's pretty much, I mean, wow, we picked Menbu. Well, that wasn't like a genius move, all right? Any moron could have said, right? I mean, how many guys had Menbu in the top 10? Pretty much every guy in the draft thing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody picked Menbu.
Sure.
Everybody says he was a top, right? Wasn't he the top projected lineman? Maybe there was one other guy or
the only other guy, I guess the only other guy was Will Campbell, who went to New England. But yeah, it was those two.
I mean, the experts, you know, where you really separate what's a good GM from a bad GM is when they pick, you know, a Puka Nacua in the 5th round. But that's all luck, you know.
Yeah.
The draft is a crapshoot. It's not a science. It's a crapshoot. Okay. The science comes into where you fill your team's needs through free agency. That's and where you pick up a guy, like you bring in a guy from another team that they get rid of, and now you coach him into being a really good player. I mean, one thing we have to say that Salah was really good at, he was really good at coaching up players that were not that good prior to them coming here, right? I mean, you could say Quincy was not a great player. And
definitely not.
He got schemed up to be a good player, right?
Yeah.
Huff was not a good player. He schemed up to be a good player.
That's
JFM was not a great player. We schemed him up to be a good player. So that's where your coaching comes into play. And we're obviously not scheming and coaching these guys into being good players. One thing we expected with the new regime was that we were hoping that with Wilkes and AG being defensive-minded coaches, that at the very least our defense would overperform how shitty it was after Salah left last year. And so far, how do you grade that? What's your grade for the defensive coaching in 2025?
Incomplete.
If you say any more than an F, I'm hanging up the phone.
Incomplete.
No. It's an up to now. It's an
F. Yeah. It's a big F.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying you can't say 5 games. I agree. Hey, look, I'm not giving it, But I will say this to you.
Yeah.
If they lose, if they get boat raced by Denver, and they can at least beat either Carolina or
Cincinnati is next. Cincinnati.
If they can't beat one of the two Ohio teams going into the bye.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland's after. Yeah.
Okay. If we can't do that, Paul, at the bye with more than half the season in, you really have to give it an F.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. Yeah.
Okay. Because you have two grades, right? You have look, is it really are you going to feel like rah, rah, rah if we win 2 of the last 3 games against Buffalo, who's going to be at the, already, you understand what I'm saying? If you get, that's like scoring touchdowns and garbage time. When you win 2 of the last 3 games, I don't want to hear we're on the right path. Let's give AG another year. Oh boy, here we come. Renew your season tickets now or you might miss it. And we got rid of, by the way, Brees Hall. We got rid of Quinnen. And now we're skinned down to crap with a bunch of draft picks for the future in 2028 and 2029. That's not going to excite many Jet fans, I don't think. All right. That's not going to go away, especially if there's a chance to get a good coach, a proven coach. Okay. Because when Rich Kotite was there and my stomach fell out after 2 seasons of agony and depravity, we had a chance to, again, Leon Hess got tired of it. He was getting old, and he said, F this. I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I'm going to bring in Bill Parcells. And that's what he did. And what did Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick do? With a shittier roster by far than what we have right now, they turned it into a 9-win team from 1 win, right?
Yeah, they did.
Same roster. I watched Bill Belichick take the shittiest defense, not as shitty as the one we have right now. They were only giving up 24 points a game. We're giving up 31. But the point being, all right, and they turned the ball over, which we have. When the ball falls on the ground, nobody's near it. None of our players are near. I mean, it's hard to get turnovers when you're not near the ball when it falls on the ground, by the way.
That's true.
And it's not really easy to get interceptions when your head is going this way when the ball is coming at you instead of turning around and looking for the ball. But that's a different conversation. But the reality is, when I saw him and I said, wow, great, Bill Parcells is here. Yeah, mate, do you think you think it to yourself, okay, 1-15, maybe we'll win 6 games. Maybe he'll change the culture and have a new roster in there, and maybe we'll win 8 or 10 the year after. Well, what did happen? They won 9, and then they got to the playoffs the next year, and they were in the championship game the year after. So from that perspective, coaching means more in football. And I'm learning this because I really didn't think coaching was that important in football. But not only is it important, but it's more important in football than any other sport. Okay? When you're a basketball coach and you have, LeBron James running up and down the field, Eric Spoelstra, oh, he's such a great basketball coach. Does he really need to be a great basketball coach when 3 to 5 guys that are out on the court, I could coach those guys to a victory? You know what I'm saying, Paul?
Yeah.
Same thing in baseball. It means a lot, but it's not that. Football, it's very, very important. And the bottom line is we have to really look and see what we are. I get it. 5 years, we paid him this, we did that. Look, the Patriots, Robert Kraft got rid of Mayo because Vrabel was available. And Vrabel was no Harbaugh either, okay? Vrabel got fired.
He did.
Okay? Harbaugh
unceremoniously.
is not going to get fired. What's going to happen is if they end up making him available, it means that those teams are sick of not being in the Super Bowl and winning Super Bowls. We're just trying to get to the damn playoffs, for Christ's sake. Our expectations are not that high, okay? So if he's available, and not only would I grab Harbaugh, I would give a first-round pick the next 2 years just to get Harbaugh here, okay? Same thing with Tomlin. I'd give a first-round pick for Tomlin with my eyes closed because these are coaches that change your narrative moving forward. because the expectations when you have a Tomlin is you'll make the playoffs. You might win a Super Bowl. God forbid. God forbid we win a playoff game. Oh my God, are we in this play? We have a home playoff game in the first 2 years since he's been a coach. Those are the expectations you have when you have a Tomlin and a Harbaugh. Okay, so let's relax.
Okay.
Let's forget about this stupid getting rid of and skinning the roster and getting rid of all these guys for a few draft picks.
Okay.
That's irrelevant. At Breece Hall, running back is probably the easiest guy to replace. One thing about running back is they don't usually draw a top 10 pick, right? Unless they're Janty or
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, or Bijan or the giant.
Saquon.
Saquon. Those guys, okay. Those guys warrant a top 10, top 15 pick. But other than that, you could find a Breece Hall in the first 40 picks.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we get a third for Breece, let's consider it. What else is there? You think because you're going to get a first-round pick for Quinnen Williams that you're going to go find another Quinnen Williams in the draft?
That might be harder to do.
Might be. You're not going to find a tackle that's going to come onto the team in the first round and be a Quinnen Williams Pro Bowler year one. Especially the Jets with our draft pick history. Let's take it easy here, and Moogie, and what has he picked so far? Let's take it easy. Let's stay with the course. Let's see how it goes. Let's hope that this is not going to be. Let's hope that we make a minor step forward this week and not be a train wreck. Let's hope that we win the 2 games after. Maybe we win one. But if we're an 0 for going into the bye week, and then we go again, then the narrative becomes, when do we get our first win? And is it going to be Miami? Is it going to be this? And it's that. And then we have 1 win or 2 wins into the end of the season, and we're guaranteed a first-round pick. Paul, I'm telling you right now, you might be the only guy standing on an island rooting for Aaron Glenn to come back just because he played for the Jets. Well, Mayo played for the Patriots, and he was a very good player for the Patriots. Did Robert Kraft think about it? Or did he say, I like to win, I'm used to winning. So, Vrabel? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Bye. Gerard, we'll put you on the Ring of Honor there. We still love you. You're still invited back. We say the same thing about Aaron Glenn. I watched Aaron Glenn. I've been around for all these players, okay? I like Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn was a great player. And I like the fact that he was a Jet and he wanted to come here and everything else. But, I watched him get fooled on the fake spike also. It wasn't a happy day. He could have made a pick 6 there and ran it back. I would have been much happier. But he got burned. But my point being, coaches are coaches. Just because he's a player doesn't make him a coach.
It's a good point. And this?
Playoffs? Are you talking about the playoffs?
That would be good. That would be very good. Some interesting conversations there from Neil Sr. Well, I'm still on the AG train. I don't know how many others are also on the AG train with me, but we'll see how long that lasts. Folks, shout out to the 400 people watching the show. Like the video, hit subscribe. At 3 o'clock, we'll be back. Boy Green meets Woody. It'll be myself. It'll be James Woody and Phil Milani, who worked for the Denver Broncos for a very long time. Now he covers the Denver Broncos on his own. He will join us at 3 o'clock. We'll preview this game. Jets, Broncos, London. What the hell's going on? We'll give you all the details. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, and we appreciate you. We'll see you again soon. Take care.